Hello everybody, good afternoon, my name is Blitz. So finally Nintendo has announced their new console, calling it the Switch, not the NX. And yes, it's essentially a home console portable hybrid, though really it's a glorified tablet and even powered by an NVIDIA Tegra system on a chip. But the idea is to unify Nintendo's entire home and portable console ecosystem. If you haven't watched the announcement video, please do so you can see what everyone is talking about. First and real quickly, I'm starting to really think this is going to be Nintendo's last piece of hardware. At this point, it really just makes more sense to put your software on phones, tablets, and even PCs, since hardware manufacturing, developments, and support is a lot to shoulder financially and even managerially within a company. Switching to purely software development would greatly streamline Nintendo's ability to produce quality games and get them out to an even bigger audience than before. Just look at Pokemon Go. It makes too much sense in my head, but I guess they really want to hold on to the control of their franchises that much. And I don't blame them since they are worth a lot, but at the same time, I think it would help Nintendo quite a bit if they just got out of the hardware business. But back to the Nintendo Switch, what we have is essentially a tablet with side-mounted controller modules that can be put in a base station. That base station will probably, it should offer greatly expanded connectivity, HDMI output to your TV, extra USBs, whatever, and of course power for the device. The detachable controller modules can be used individually on their own as separate controllers for single screen multiplayer. In the announcement video, we also see the modules being put on like a home controller system thingy for use at home, of course, which is alright, but you can even use a Wii U Pro style controller, which just means there are a lot of options as far as how you want to play with the system, which is pretty cool. But there's also some issues. One thing I do wonder is if the detachable controller modules have built-in gyroscopes and motion sensors for Wii and Wii U-like controls, with maybe a sensor bar built into the console itself, as it would make for a pretty neat way to incorporate such interactions into the Switch. And I mean a sensor bar built into the tablet. It wouldn't be that hard to do. I also assume that the screen is going to be touch sensitive, as it's just generally expected by people these days in anything portable, whether it's a phone or a tablet. Another important fact is this thing's going to use cartridges, or cards, whatever you want to call them, instead of optical discs, which are just not practical for a portable system when it comes to size, durability, and most importantly, power consumption. So, do I think this is a good idea? Sure, it's not a bad one by any means, as long as it's executed correctly, which means we need great games out of the gate. Nintendo needs to not screw around with their third-party developers, and the hardware needs to be reasonably priced. Nintendo owns some extremely popular properties, like I was talking about, where I said they should just go software only. I really just don't see Nintendo fixing their relationship with developers anytime soon, though, even if NVIDIA is here to help them, which leads into the architecture and the possible specs of the Nintendo Switch. We know it's running NVIDIA's Tegra system on a chip architecture, utilizing probably at least Maxwell GPU architecture graphics, and that also means some number of ARM CPU processing cores. What I think is in the Switch is more likely just a die shrink of NVIDIA's own Tegra X1 chip, which can be found in the Shield Android TV device. The X1 sports 512 gigaflops of graphics compute and 8 ARM cores in a 4-4 big little configuration that's paired with 3 gigabytes of RAM via 64-bit memory bus, giving just over 25 gigabytes per second of bandwidth. Basically, this is about 1/3 the graphics processing power of the Xbox One. Essentially, how we've seen games on the Shield Android TV, how they run is likely a good preview of what to expect out of the Nintendo Switch. I certainly think it's possible that Nvidia could be furnishing Nintendo with an even more powerful Tegra variant, but a weaker than X1 chip is a possibility too. It is important that Nintendo Switch does have the battery life to cope with portable gaming for decent lengths of time. A die shrink really only helps so much, but Nvidia could also change the SoC configuration in terms of CPU and graphics cores to be better tailored to what Nintendo wants out of that SoC. Because of Nvidia's expertise in low-power SoCs in phones and tablets, I'm not all that surprised Nintendo broke up with AMD for this device. Also, Nvidia's excellent relationship with PC and mobile developers could give Nintendo a leg up on attracting third parties to their new platform. However, it's the long term that concerns me, as it arguably hasn't been since the SNES that Nintendo has actively held good relationships with third-party developers aside from a few major ones like Capcom. I would say my other concern lies with how long will the public care about a device that only has Nintendo exclusive games and a few multi-platform titles to really just, I guess differentiate it from the mobile market devices people already have for more practical reasons. Then there is the utter lack of processing power to run games made for the Xbox One, PS4, and PC, especially with the PS4 Pro around the corner and the Xbox Scorpio dropping next year. It almost seems like Nintendo is walking themselves into another ravine like they did with the Wii U, where the gimmick isn't good enough and the system just doesn't have the processing power to keep it relevant with any other system, making multi-platform titles sort of a no-go. Non-loyalists to Nintendo will get their Call of Duty and Madden fix just somewhere else where the game is better realized. The Switch is due to release in March of next year. No pricing has been made public as of yet, and I'm expecting the Switch to come in at $300 at the very most. Most prudent would be to sell the tablet console with its modular controllers on its own and of course with an AC adapter, so it's ready to be enjoyed without the extra cost to the consumer that they would have to shoulder with an added-in base station and Pro controller, which means a bigger and faster built player base. So anyways, thanks for watching guys, hope you all have a good afternoon. If you like this video, hit like, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more bullshit from yours truly. Hope you guys have a good day.